So today I just wanted to go through all the different MCU characters and pick out which figures of those characters I think are the best. I'll be mainly going through the figures that have had several different releases. That way we can sort of narrow those down. Um, so first off, I want to start off with Steve Rogers, Captain America. So we've had quite a few different figures for Captain America, but I think the best overall is the worthy Captain America from Endgame. He comes with Mjolnir, and I think just the overall look of the suit and everything looks the best, and the unmasked head and the masked head both look the best, I think, out of all the ones we've gotten. His shield is okay. I actually prefer the shield with the Captain America from the first 10 years 2 pack. That was the Civil War 2 pack with Crossbones. I think that figure is a close second, but I like the shield from the first 10 years one the best. There's also a few other notable ones I wanted to throw in there. So there's a World War II cap, which is the one that came in the 2 pack with Peggy Carter. That one's pretty neat. And it also just depends on what look you like the best. Because there's also the Infinity Saga cap, which is the look from Infinity War, where he has the beard and everything. That one's not too bad. And if you're wanting that look for the Infinity War one, the Infinity Saga one's the best for that. And then there's also the other in-game one, suit from the 2012 Avengers movie when they go back in time. That one's not too bad. And they have the Winter Soldier suit one, which is an older one. The head sculpt and stuff isn't that great on it, but I like that suit. So those are some other notable or honorable mentions. And now we'll go on to Iron Man. So this one I'm sort of torn mainly between two. So I really like the Mark 85 Iron Man, which is the suit from Endgame. But the one from the Thanos 2 pack that actually has the Tony Stark or Robert Downey Jr. head sculpt, that one is probably my favorite, just because mainly that Robert Downey Jr. head sculpt, and that's the only one we've gotten for any of these Iron Man figures. So the suit's pretty cool too, and we get a lot of accessories as well. So that makes it a good figure as well. The other one that I really like a lot is the Mark 7, which is from the 2012 Avengers from the first 10 years line. I like that one a lot just because when I think of Iron Man, that's the like iconic look that I think of, and my favorite look of Iron Man. More like a little bit bulkier and stuff. I like that a lot, but it doesn't have the alternate head or anything. So I'm sort of torn between those two. But if I had to go with one, I'd probably go with the Mark 85 with the Robert Downey Jr. head sculpt. But a few other notable ones here. There's the Mark 50 from the Iron Spider 2 pack, which is the Mark 50 is the one from Infinity War, but this one from the Iron Spider 2 pack has a lot more accessories, and the color is actually accurate to the movie and stuff, so that one's a pretty good one as well. And then there's the Mark 3, which is from the Infinity Saga line. The Mark 3 is from the first Iron Man movie, and that one's pretty good too. Then there's the Mark 42 from Iron Man 3. That's an older figure, so it's not the best, but I do like that suit quite a bit. And there's plenty others, but now we'll go on to Spider-Man. So I'm just going to be doing Tom Holland's Spider-Man for this category here. My favorite, I think, is sort of torn on this one too, between the upgraded suit, the Walmart exclusive one that has the Tom Holland head sculpt with it. I like that suit a lot, the red and black. That was from Far From Home. I like that suit a lot because it's sort of like the classic Spider-Man, and it's pretty just simple, looks nice, and one of the better Tom Holland or Peter Parker heads that we've gotten. My other one is the Iron Spider from that Iron Spider 2-pack that I was mentioning earlier. The one that had the Mark 50 Iron Man. That's from the Infinity War. That's the one that actually has the claws and everything that come out. But that one I do like because I like the Iron Spider suit. But for that one, they still didn't quite get it right where it looks shiny like it actually does in the movie and stuff. So for that reason, it's a little bit lower on my list. So I think the integrated or the upgraded suit with the red and black, the Walmart exclusive, even though it doesn't have the black lines, I like that one quite a bit. So I don't know. But I also like the newest integrated suit Spider-Man from No Way Home that we got in the 3-pack is pretty nice. It has the black lines and everything. But the suit overall is not my favorite. It's a little too complicated, but I still do like it. So those three are the top ones there. And I guess I can sort of include the Peter Parker figure from the Ned 2-pack. I do like that one. Um, it's a little bit lower just because it's a Peter Parker figure, not Spider-Man, but it is cool, and it does have the best Tom Holland head sculpt, I believe. So that one's in contention or honorable mention there. And then some other ones that I like is the homemade suit. That one's pretty cool. I just like the design of that homemade suit. It's pretty cool. And the homecoming suit as well from the Vulture Build-A-Figure wave. That one was pretty cool. Had the black lines and everything on it. But some of the mold and sculpting of the figure wasn't quite as good. Just mainly because it was a older figure. Next, we'll go on to Thor. So my favorite overall is the Infinity War Thor. I think that one has the best look and my favorite version of Thor in the movies as well. But on my Infinity War Thor, I actually switched that head with the Ragnarok head. Because the original head that came on the Infinity War Thor wasn't quite as good as I liked. But that I think is my favorite overall. And then the Ragnarok one, both the one with the helmet from the Gladiator Hulk Build-A-Figure wave, and the one with no helmet from the Valkyrie 2-pack. So I like both of those. And then if you're wanting a more classic Thor, I like the Thor from the first 10 years 2-pack with Lady Sif. That's the Thor from Thor the Dark World. I think that one's probably the best one as far as the classic look for Thor. And I also like the Thor from Endgame, where he's sort of a little bit bigger, and he has like the braided beard and the longer hair and stuff like that, all black. That one's pretty cool. And then there's also, have to mention the Ravager Thor, because that face sculpt's pretty good, but it's not really, I don't know, it's not your classic Thor look, I guess. But yeah. And then we'll go on to Hulk. Well, there hasn't really been that many releases of the MCU Hulk, but my favorite is the one from the first 10 years 2-pack. It was the Hulkbuster 2-pack, and it's the Age of Ultron Hulk in there, and that's my favorite one from the first 10 years one because it looks a little bit better. And the next one I think would be like Smart Hulk, but some of the head sculpts on those look a little bit weird, a little bit off to me. And I'm not the biggest fan of Smart Hulk. And then the next one would be Gladiator Hulk. So they're actually coming out with a new version of this one, which looks a little bit better than the Build-A-Figure. So either one of those, I think, are pretty good. So now we'll go on to Doctor Strange. I think the No Way Home Doctor Strange is the best overall. The face really looks like Benedict Cumberbatch the most, and the sort of shield effects that he has on his hands looks pretty good. The cloak, I actually like the one on the 3-pack one from the Infinity War 3-pack with Thanos and stuff. I like the cloak on that one the best, but definitely the No Way Home I think is the best overall. And then the next one would be the Multiverse of Madness one because it's similar. The face looks good, the hair looks little different. And then I didn't care for the suit design on the Multiverse of Madness one as much, but the shield effects on that looks pretty good as well. It's pretty similar to the No Way Home one, but not quite as good. And then Defender Strange, I guess, I mean, technically is Doctor Strange, but it's a variant. But that one's kind of cool. So now we'll go on to Bucky, or the Winter Soldier. So I like the Winter Soldier from the Falcon, I think it was Infinity War Falcon 2-pack. He looks pretty cool in that one, and it's sort of more of a classic Winter Soldier. Has the longer hair and the metal arm, which all of them have the metal arm, but they do have different metal arms. But anyway, I like that one. But I also like the Bucky from the Falcon Winter Soldier series. He has that sort of black metal arm with the gold lines. I think that one looks the coolest of all the arms. If I had to pick a favorite, I don't know. I'd maybe say the one from Winter Soldier, or from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the from the Disney Plus series. Just I don't know. I like that arm a lot. That black and gold looks really cool. And then also I wanted to mention it's also from the Falcon and Winter Soldier, but it's the flashback version of the Winter Soldier, where he's like still the bad guy or whatever. That one looks pretty cool with the star on his shoulder of that arm. That one's pretty cool too. Just depends on what version you like. And then we'll go on to Falcon. So I'll sort of mix in a little bit like the Falcon figures, but also the Captain America. We've only got one, or well, two sort of so far of Sam Wilson's Captain America. But the Falcon from that Infinity War 2-pack that I was talking about with the Winter Soldier, I think that's the best like Falcon, the actual Falcon figure. But and then also the Captain America Build-A-Figure with the flight gear and stuff. It kind of sucked to have it as a Build-A-Figure, but I really like that suit a lot with the white and everything. Looks really cool. Really like that suit a lot for Sam Wilson's Captain America. The shield wasn't great, so for mine personally, I replaced his shield with one of the shields from the first 10 years Captain America, Steve Rogers, the 2-pack from Crossbones, the one I was talking about. That's the best shield. I gave so now my Captain America, Steve Rogers, and Sam Wilson both have the same shield. It actually looks the best. But and then there was the other Sam Wilson Captain America that they released in that 2-pack that has the like unmasked Sam Wilson. So I don't know if you want to count that, I guess. But the new head, the unmasked head sculpt's really the only thing they changed in that. So now we'll go on to War Machine, and my personal favorite is the Civil War War Machine. It came in that Target 2-pack. That's my favorite version of War Machine. I think that suit looks the best. But I also like the one from Endgame. That one looks pretty cool. It's a little bit bulkier, but it still looks pretty cool. And then also the Iron Patriot Endgame suit is pretty cool too. So it sort of just depends on your taste. My personal one is the Civil War one, but it's just your matter of preference, really. So now we'll go on to Ant-Man. So Ant-Man really hasn't had that many releases. I mean, he's had a few. I think he's had like 4 or 5 releases. But my personal favorite is actually the newest Ant-Man figure, which is the Quantumania one. Because of the helmet looks a lot better. You can actually see the eyes through the lenses and stuff. And there's a lot of detail on it. Looks a lot better. The next one would be the Ant-Man and the Wasp one from the Cole Obsidian Build-A-Figure wave. That one was pretty good. The alternate head looked pretty good on it. And I also like the one that we got in the first 10 years 2-pack. That was the Yellow Jacket 2-pack. And I liked with that one we had the tiny Ant-Man and the tiny Yellow Jacket. So that was pretty cool. And then there's the giant Ant-Man or the Giant Man Build-A-Figure that came from Civil War. So that one was pretty cool. But my personal favorite's the Quantumania one. We'll go on to Black Widow here. And Black Widow, she's had quite a few releases, but my favorite is the one from Endgame, which she is sort of hard to find now. She is part of the armored Thanos Build-A-Figure wave. That's my favorite overall look. And I feel like the face looks the most like Scarlett Johansson of any of the figures, really. And the one from the Black Widow movie where she's in the white outfit doesn't look too bad, but I'd prefer her in the black outfit. The one from Infinity War's not bad. I mean, the face looks like Scarlett Johansson, but it's just not the classic look because she has the blonde short hair and stuff. But I mean, if you're wanting that look for like your Infinity War section or whatever, that's not a bad figure. And then there's an older figure from Age of Ultron. It was part of the Hulkbuster Build-A-Figure. The head sculpt and stuff in the face doesn't look quite as good because it is an older figure. But I mean, overall it's not a bad figure. So yeah, probably the Endgame one's the best overall. And then we'll go on to Hawkeye here. And Hawkeye really hasn't had that many releases. And some of the newer ones, I think the best probably overall is the Hawkeye figure that we got from the Hawkeye Disney Plus series. The face looks a lot like Jeremy Renner on that. Looks pretty good. And then there's the Ronin figure, just released. I think it's a Walmart exclusive, I'm not sure. But it has like the Jeremy Renner head sculpt. Looks really nice. Has sort of this slick back hair. And we had the older Ronin figure, but it didn't have the Jeremy Renner head sculpt. But what I did is on the older Ronin figure, I took the Jeremy Renner head sculpt from the Endgame 2-pack with the like integrate or quantum suits or whatever, where he had that mohawk. I liked that head sculpt a lot on there. So that one was pretty cool to head with that Ronin. The only other one that I was going to mention is the Age of Ultron one. It was part of the Hulkbuster Build-A-Figure wave. That figure's not too bad, but the head and face isn't that great because it's an older figure. Now we'll go on to Wanda Maximoff, or the Scarlet Witch. So I think my personal favorite is the one from WandaVision. I feel like the face looks the most like Elizabeth Olsen, and the suit's pretty cool. Her hair looks nice. Sort of has like flying backwards or whatever. That's pretty cool. And they're coming out with the one from Multiverse of Madness. That one actually looks pretty cool as well. I feel like the face looks pretty accurate on that as well. And then the next one that I wanted to mention, Scarlet Witch or Wanda Maximoff from the Infinity War 2-pack. That's the one that had her and Vision in it. And that one's pretty cool too. I like that look as well. But the face isn't quite as clean, doesn't quite look as much like Elizabeth Olsen as the WandaVision one does. For Black Panther, I think it depends on what look you like the best, but I like the in-game Black Panther one. That's the one that was part of the armored Thanos Build-A-Figure wave, but that one's really hard to find and it's pretty expensive. But You can also get the same kind of look for that Black Panther from the Okoye Build-A-Figure wave, but it just doesn't have the Chadwick Boseman head sculpt that looks as good. But you could get a different Chadwick Boseman head sculpt from a bunch of different figures and put it on that figure if you wanted to. It'd probably be a lot cheaper option. But I also like the Legacy Black Panther Vibranium suit. It's the one with like the purple lines and stuff. That one's pretty cool. It's pretty similar to the one from the M'Baku Build-A-Figure wave. It's slightly improved, the Legacy one is, but just barely. And then there's also the Legacy Civil War one, which is pretty nice as well. It just depends on sort of the look you're looking for. So now we'll go on to Star-Lord, and Star-Lord really hasn't had that many releases, but my favorite is the Star-Lord from Volume 2 that came in the Ego 2-pack. I think that's the best look for Star-Lord. The masked face looked pretty good. The unmasked head didn't look that great, but overall he had the jacket, the blasters look good, and he even comes with the Walkman that you can put on his hip stuff or on his belt, so that's pretty cool. But overall, that one is my favorite. The Volume 3 one that just came out not too long ago has the best unmasked head sculpt. So if I'm going to display my Star-Lord with the unmasked head, I always put the Volume 3 one on there because that's the best unmasked head sculpt. And if you're wanting that whole team together with the Guardians Classic uniforms, then you can get the Volume 3 one. But I personally like them sort of in their different outfits and stuff the best. And then they have the Volume 1 Star-Lord. So I just wanted to mention this one a little bit because overall the figure's not that great. Because it is an older figure, the faces don't look that great, even the helmeted one. But it has some cool accessories, like it has the little ball deal that has the stone in it, the power stone. And then it has like headphones. But that's the coolest part about the Volume 1. And the design of the figure is not too bad for how old it is. Now we'll go on to Valkyrie. So Valkyrie, I believe, has only had three released figures. I might be wrong on that. But my favorite one overall is the newest one from Thor Love and Thunder. I feel like that one looks the best overall. The face definitely looks the best. And the design of the suit looks pretty cool. Now, they have an in-game one, and I like the suit overall the best on that one, but the face isn't quite as good as the Thor Love and Thunder one. And then the other one is the Ragnarok one, came in a 2-pack with Thor, and that face and everything doesn't look very good on that one. So yeah, the overall, my favorite would be the Thor Love and Thunder one, and the I like the in-game one with the suit. The suit looks the best on that, I think, but it is pretty expensive as well. So the best bet, I think, is the Thor Love and Thunder one. So I want to touch on Drax and some of the other Guardians that I didn't touch on a little bit. So Drax has only had, I think, 4 releases, but my favorite is the Volume 2 one. I think that looks the best with the blue pants and everything, and the knives are the best on that one. But the head, I think, looks best on the Volume 3 one. Actually look Dave Bautista. And then I'll touch on some of the other Guardians. So for Groot, for the adult Groot, we only had really 2 versions. One from Volume 1, which was a Build-A-Figure. Then they released the Evolution of Groot, which had the adult Groot and the 2 baby Groots, like the baby Groot and then like the potted newborn Groot. The Evolution of Groot ones are the best. And then for Team Groot, we had one for Infinity War 3-pack that came with like a little gaming deal. That one's okay. I like the gaming deal, but the new Teen Groot that they released for Thor Love and Thunder actually looks more accurate with the colors and everything. And then the new Swole Groot that they just released, the colors aren't that great, but it's the only one we got so far. Let's see who else. Gamora. There's only been 2 versions of Gamora so far. Volume 1, which was not very good, and then the Volume 2 one, which is really good. So obviously the Volume 2 is my favorite. And then Nebula, same with her. There's only been 2. The Volume 2 one, and then the new Volume 3. Volume 2 one's my favorite, and the Volume 3 one is alright, but the detail's just not as great on it. And she's in the Guardians uniform, so it's, if you don't have that whole team displayed, it looks kind of weird. Yeah, that's pretty much it for those. Now we'll go on to Loki. So I'm going to be including the regular figures from like Infinity War and stuff, and from the series. I'm not going to be including like the variants, so like not classic Loki or Sylvie or nothing, just Tom Hiddleston's Loki. So my favorite is the one from the Infinity War 2-pack with Corvus Glaive. I think that one looks the best overall, and he comes with the Tesseract accessory. And then the next best one is the one from Ragnarok, which is from the Gladiator Hulk Build-A-Figure, which is pretty similar to the one from the Infinity War 2-pack, but the colors and stuff aren't quite as good on that one. I do like the horns from that one, which I actually take and put on the one from the 2-pack, which makes it look really good. Sort of the best of both worlds there. And then there's the Loki from, it was packaged with the big Tesseract that lit up and stuff. And I like that one from the series because I feel like that's the look that we see him in most of the time in that series, compared to the other one with the TVA jacket. I don't like that one as much. And then I think the only other Loki that they released was for the first Avengers, which was part of the Hulkbuster Build-A-Figure wave, I believe. And that figure isn't the greatest, just because how advanced technology has become now. But the face and everything in the figure itself isn't that great. He comes with the staff though. And I think that's about it. There's a lot of other figures, or a lot of other characters, but a lot of them only have like maybe 1 or 2 different figures. So I didn't really list them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know which ones or which figures are your favorite for these characters. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.